Good morning, everyone, and good evening, everyone, for wherever you are in the world. I wanted to have this video because I know a lot of people have been liking the China vacation video that I've done. My wife and I, we traveled to China about a month ago. Think, oh, maybe even 2 months ago. I think it was back in March of this year, and we had a great time. But I do want to give a realistic, real view of our experience and time in China, because I know that the Western media, American media, other Western media, other types of media, we cast this dark shadow over China. And I think, by me going to China and seeing it for myself, it blew my mind. Because think about it. If you guys watch cable news in this country, in America, that is, you probably think that the rest of the world is either standing still or falling apart. You get told a very specific story about who has power, who has the infrastructure, and who is running the future. But there is a massive difference between reading a headline written in, the Washington Post and walking the streets yourself. And I just want to kind of bring this realistic video because I know the way I do my videos, there's a lot going on. So people may just be admiring some of the experiences I had, right? Some of the memes that I put in there. But I wanted to kind of dive a little bit deeper into what I saw and experienced in China, right? Because again, just a couple of months ago, my wife and I, we packed our bags and we went to China, even though we told all of our friends and they're like, you going to China? And again, that subconscious, probably negative thought of what Western media has been implanting in our subconscious for a very long time. My wife and I, we went to Beijing and China. I didn't go with a political delegation. I didn't go with any intention of just vacationing and traveling the world. I didn't go on a guided media tour. I went to see it with my own two eyes. And we are stepping away from the domestic cycle for a minute because I need to show you the receipts on what a competing global superpower like China actually looks like from the pavement up. Okay, because this is what's really important, right? Not that we should only experience the world for ourselves, but being in America with our politics, and I'm not saying that Chinese politics are better, okay, because they really don't have the same quote unquote freedoms that we have in regards to talking about our media, talking about our government, right? America, we really hang our hat on freedom of speech, so to speak. And due to some of the things I read and experienced in China, they don't have that. But nevertheless, from what I saw, because I went to these mega cities, and I know they have smaller cities. We wanted to go to Shenzhen, and I might mispronounce the names, okay, because of the spelling. We want to go to Shenzhen, we want to go to Gaozhou, we wanted to go to a Shingdong, all these different, Chinese cities that we've been hearing about. But we had limited time, and I think the technological advanced city that everybody was talking about was like 12 hours away from us. But nevertheless, I kind of wanted to share my experience with you guys because, again, if people wanted to think I was going to say something negative, I really don't have anything negative to say. I have some very interesting things I will say about it. But I just wanted to share this with you guys in case you haven't seen those two vacation videos. But I want to point out a couple of things. Now, the first thing here, we kind of landed in Beijing, and this was our hotel, the Aurora Hotel, or Atour Hotel, excuse me. Very nice hotel. The accommodations were great. I don't believe we had, again, if I say something negative, it's because of something I actually saw. I don't want to think people I'm being negative, but I promise you that majority of this is very, very positive. Now, we landed in Shanghai, by the way, because it was cheaper to fly business class into Shanghai than it is Beijing. Okay. So our first night was in Shanghai, no less. You guys ever heard of the Shangri-La? Like, we always hear these names in America and we don't know if it's a hotel. We don't know if it's an area. At least I didn't know. And I just want to thank everybody who commented on those videos. Majority of the comments were very, very positive. I believe that a lot of the comments were from, Chinese people or people who visit China themselves. And thank you guys for correcting me about, some of the vehicles I thought was either a BYD or a Zeekr, and it came to be a Yang Wang. And again, Please excuse the Western tongue. I don't know how to say things correctly. So please excuse me and forgive me on that. Also, you guys corrected me on the Great Wall. Okay, I just must have misheard. So it's 13,000 plus miles, 13,171, I think someone stated. But it's far larger than 1,300 miles. And granted, 1,300 miles is still it's mega to me. It's I can't even fathom a wall that's 1,300. And now when people are like, no, you know, you got it wrong, it's 13,000 miles. I was like, 13,000 miles? How long, okay, did it take them to build this wall? I'm thinking maybe 20 years. That's a long time. Maybe 10 years. I don't know. But nevertheless, this is Shanghai, right? And I don't know what I thought, right? I didn't have any expectations, and if I did, or I thought that what I was going to see, it was subconscious, right? It was subconscious. And we were kind of walking this area called Nanjing Road. I believe this is around the Nanjing Road area. Very well established, rich. Let me tell you, we saw some vehicles in China. And I'm not talking about Chinese EVs. We're talking about, we saw Bentleys, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Like if you was downtown LA, or you was in certain parts in America where, you know, people had money, Scottsdale, Arizona, these really, really rich areas, that was Shanghai. So the very next day, because we got in late, the very next day we flew in to, we took the bullet train to Beijing. And these were accommodations right here. This was the business class. Now, in China, for the train, okay, just for the train that I can recall correctly, if you want to travel in style, in my opinion, even though I'm pretty sure the other seats were comfortable, but in business class is higher than first class, because what we saw, the way the train is constructed, you have second class, first class, then business class. They put business class above first class and second class. I looked in first class, they had, you know, good accommodations, but believe me, by far, business class was the best. Let me just go through the pictures like this. You can definitely lay down just as well as you would on the first class. It's cheaper. It takes a little bit longer. The flight from Shanghai to Beijing would have took us 2 hours and a half, where the bullet train was 4 hours. But the scenery, okay, the comfortability, the amount of tentedness of the attendants there, it was bar none. Let me tell you, we had an awesome time. Would I go back to China? I know a lot of people may be thinking about that. A lot of people may be thinking about, would I go back to China? Absolutely. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I will tell you the pros and cons for me, not for everybody else, the pros and cons for me. But I'm going to go through some of these pictures because, again, I don't know if people, you know I did a lot of flashing when it comes to my vacation videos. But this right here was a meal that I received in business class. And let me tell you, when I tell you this, right, I know it looks, for a Western mind, like, what's that stuff with the red sauce, and the corn has some sort of white sauce, and whatever you're thinking, let me just tell you, I ate this entire thing. This was absolutely good. The only thing that was bland was the white rice, because it was just white rice. But believe me, I think this is pork right here, either pork or beef, and I mixed that in the rice. Believe me, the food, even on the train, was good, okay? And somebody was like, who told you that food in China was bad? It was a buddy of mine who was a contractor 20 years ago, went to China. And he said that the food was not good. So whatever he experienced, that is what I'm telling you guys, okay? I didn't experience the same thing, because my wife and I, when we was over there, we were like, babe, we don't know what he's talking about, because the food here has been, you know, pretty delicious. And here's the hotel that we staying at, the Empark Grand Hotel. They took care of us, guys. They took care of us. I mean, we didn't get any special attention, right? Is that their service was bar none. I remember the night manager, because I get up very early. Every day I get up around anywhere between 4 and 4:45. My alarm goes at 4:45, but I've been waking up at 4. I do some reading, I do some studying, whatever. But I would come downstairs because I wanted tea, I wanted coffee, maybe I wanted, you know, room service. And the night manager, who spoke fairly decent English, he would attend to us. He's like, oh, I know what they want. I know what they want. And, we had a good rapport. And when we left, he gave us these gifts in these little boxes. I wish I had the trinkets here to show you. But again, it was just a great experience all around here, opening doors for you. In this whole area here, if anybody goes to China and you want to go to Beijing because you want to see the Forbidden Palace, you want to see the Great Wall, I would definitely recommend the Empark Grand Hotel, because there, inside this hotel, lies a very secret area that majority of foreigners would not know of. Okay. If you go down to the bottom floor of the Empark Grand Hotel, and please forgive me, I do not recall the name of it, but it was called, I think, Cal City, C-A-L or K-A-L City. When you go downstairs, it's this whole shopping area. They got a Huawei store. They had a Starbucks underneath in the ground, right from your hotel. And because you're in this hotel, you have what you call, I'll say, special access, because there's a wall in the door, like a glass wall in a door, that regular people can't come inside the hotel if they don't have a key card. And that's another thing. When we was in China and you're in a hotel and you have your key card, you know how in America you have to use a key card with the NFC card reader, whatever, and you touch it and then you have to press the button? Not in China, not from my experience. You just take your card, it reads it, it tells you the 9th floor, and it goes up. Okay, one-stop shop. There were so many small technological advances that I see in China that I don't really see across America. And granted, I'm only giving you a small example because I've only been to Beijing and Shanghai. I can talk about that. I've seen a lot of China by traveling. I saw some areas where there used to be farms and farmhouses that was kind of abandoned. But even through our travel through the bullet train going to Beijing, we saw other little cities and towns that were you could tell the infrastructure was pretty good. Okay, you could tell the infrastructure was pretty good. And before I jump the gun here, because we went to a town called Watson Valley. I don't want to jump ahead. I'll show you guys a picture on that as well. Okay. And all through China, I was just looking at cars. I'm a car guy. I don't know if you guys are car guys and car women, but I want you to look at the sleekness of this car, right? It's smoothed around, the flush door handles. Man, and it's a Luxotto S7, and I don't know the name brand. So again, if you guys know the names of this, put them in the chat. I'm just giving you my ignorance on this. But I just looked at this whole vehicle. My wife's like, this guy is obsessed with vehicles. And we kept seeing these really future age, but still great design looking cars in China. Now, right above that, I know you guys see this Ford. I mean, it puts the Ford. Now, it's an older Ford, and we all have this joke in America that Ford means found on a road dead, okay? This is a joke. Ford make, great trucks and things of that nature. And I'm looking all inside the vehicle. Everything is very seamless. Again, they have a lot of good looking vehicles in China. And then they have LiDAR here. They have cameras everywhere. If you see this camera right here in the bumper. So again, I just look at the advanced technology. Here's another one. Okay, here's another vehicle. This picture, and again, this is going to be very random, ladies and gentlemen. So if you think there's going to be a sort of outline to this, I'm just going to comment on some of the pictures and things that come to mind. I'm just going to tell you because I want to give you my unattainable view of China. Now, this was in an apartment building, believe it or not. So all through China, they have, and this is in Beijing, they had these high rises. And man, my wife was like, wow, they got a lot of high rises. We know that it's over 1 billion people in China. And we just think, okay, they got high rises. But when we looked up a nail shop, she wanted an authentic Chinese, manicure, so to speak. And people are like, what do you mean? You're in China? Exactly. We was looking for a nail shop that was close to our hotel. And our direction sent us to this building. And we had to go up to the 8th or 9th floor, whatever it is. And then there was a shop. So now we know, okay, well, in a lot of these high rises, the different floors, the different apartments, so to speak, could be businesses or where people live and or both. But this particular apartment that we went into was a nail shop, right? And what was astounding about the manicure that my wife received, because she had art on it, I didn't get any pictures because I was sitting in the chair back there. I took a couple of pictures. What was astounding about her manicure is that all the art that the lady did on her fingernails, she did it by hand. And I'm a guy. I don't know what women, I don't know if they do that in America, anywhere else. So I'm just giving you a bit of my ignorance as well as my experience. But she did it by hand, and she did a really, really good job. Now, we went to the GR shopping mall here. As you could tell, in Beijing as well as in Shanghai, and I'm pretty sure in other parts of China, they have things in English, right? They have a lot of things in English, maybe because of the Olympics that went there, maybe because there's a lot of American businesses over there, and they want to make sure that they are, making things very easy for foreigners, because one of the national languages around the entire world is English. At one point in time, if you go back 100 some odd years, it was Spanish, but now it's English. So again, I understood this. But let me tell you, when we were standing at this crosswalk, I'm gonna tell you why this crosswalk was important to me, and it may not be important to you. It's because you couldn't hear anything. We're outside, major city, downtown, uptown. I don't know this area, but a lot of you guys may know it. But it is a bustling, busy area. Do you know we couldn't hear anything? All what you see in this picture here, majority of these vehicles are either hybrids or electrical, even the scooters. The only thing you can literally hear are people walking. People wasn't really talking and walking. They was just walking. It was quiet. And I was like, babe, did you hear that? It's like, hear what? I said, exactly. We can't hear anything, right? So I took a couple of pictures there. Let me make sure. What are we doing? Okay. The Golden Chef, we went to this restaurant, and believe me, we had our fair share of food in China. A lot of people didn't believe. Yes, we had a bunch of hot pot. We had the Peking duck. Man, let me tell you guys, the Peking duck. I don't know if I have a picture of it, but that Peking duck in Beijing at the restaurant at the Great Wall, I don't know who the chef, who the cooks, but I take my hat off to you, because that Peking duck, I mean, shut down the show, guys. If you never had duck, okay, don't just get regular duck. Make sure you get authentic Peking duck, because, and again, I know this is not Peking duck. I probably shouldn't show it, right? Because people are like, that's not Peking duck. But I'll just talk on Peking duck very quickly. If the outside of that Peking duck isn't crispy, and the inside of that Peking duck is just savory, not too sweet. I mean, it was just so delicious. The Peking duck was delicious, guys. Now the hot pot. Let me tell you something. The first time we had hot pot, we figured it out, but we didn't figure it out. We dumping all the seasoning and sauces in the hot pot, and we were like, is this bland? And we was doing it wrong. We finally had someone to help us out at our hotel, and was like, oh, that's how you do hot pot, right? we did it wrong. Because at first we were like, why everybody just keep doing hot pot? But it was delicious. Okay, I digress. Now and again, a lot of the food there, I think this is either beef or pork with, onions and scallops. I mean, the food was delicious, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. This took the cake. Me and my wife were like, can we get another order of this? Some of you guys, if you know what it is, put it in the chat. I don't know. I don't remember. I just was eating it, okay? That's on me. That's on me. This was downtown in Beijing, right across from our hotel. Everything is lit up. Everything is wonderfully done. This is a Forbidden Palace, okay? We went during a time, I guess, that wasn't really high in tourism or not. And you know what? Even though it was cold, okay, it was very cold, 30, 40 degrees. Even though it was very cold, I'm actually happy, not my wife, I'm actually happy that we went when there was not a lot of tourism, because a lot of things was easy to access. A lot of things we really didn't have, quote unquote, a wait time to go in there, but we had an awesome time. And then this Forbidden City, where one of the emperors, or I think a couple of the emperors actually live. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, because it was so much information and shut up in such a short time. I don't want to do a disgrace to the amount of information and the things that we experience. So again, please correct me if I am wrong, okay? Because I'm wrong a lot, okay? And it's okay, I'm human, right? But nevertheless, we had an awesome time at the Forbidden Palace. We learned a lot of stuff. We learned about how, you see how this picture here, ladies and gentlemen, how it is squared, and then when you look inside, it's circular. That means something. That's all I can tell you. That means something. Even the knobs on the door here, how many knobs across? I think it's like 9. That means something. So once you walk into the Forbidden City, the Forbidden Palace, everything means something. Even the sculptures here. Now, this is part of a little small bridge that you walk over. And I was looking at it, I was like, wait a minute, there's dragons throughout this. So there's this sort of majestic way that things are being built, the way that they view things. Yellow, when it comes to the ranking of colors, yellow is a very high color. Red means happy. So I'm looking at the palace like, wait a minute. Yellow is a high color. Red means happy. All these things mean something. Do you guys see this up here? Let me show you this. You see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's always an odd number. You never count the first symbol or animal, and you never count the last. But it tells you the ranking of that building when it comes to how they rank the buildings in the palace or in other areas. Okay, that is what was my take was. Also, there's always a statue, right? You see this statue here, which is a dragon, and you have another one to the left. There's always, I'm gonna say always, there's usually 2 dragons or 2 these large statues in these palaces, and one is a female, one is a male. One has like his paw on something, and that means something. I'm pretty sure you guys know this. But yeah, everything, this means something. So it was so much information. It was so interesting. It was so mind-blowing. Believe me when I tell you, you guys will have an awesome time. Just if you are a lover of learning, then you will understand what I'm getting at. And this city was a monstrosity. We had like I was saying, he has his hand on this ball, and that means something. The female, and I may get this switch around, guys. The females are usually to the left, and the males are usually to the right. And I forgot what it meant, but please take my ignorance. Now, this is our tour guide. I wish that you guys could see her face because she was awesome. She was wonderful. She was well informed. She spoke English fairly well, and she was laying out, the palace. And I want you guys to look at this because this diagram doesn't give this palace any just due, because she was talking about there's 9 gates. Let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably like 11. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys went and saw this in person, you would see some of the ingenuity. And I'm not saying other places around the world don't have the same ingenuity, but even in these walls, you see these dragon heads. I know it's kind of blurry, but if you can follow my cursor down this line, they have dragon heads all through here. And I was like, what is that for? It's to drain the water that when it rains, those dragons will just pour out the water that is coming down from the different tiers, you see the steps there, okay? You see the steps here. They would just drain the water out. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool back in the day. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of years ago. I mean, to have the sense of mind. And then the way they heat the buildings, okay? They had ways where the whole heating of the floors is hundreds, if not thousands of years old. I didn't know that, right? They would use different heating sources that they would put in these very strategic places to heat the floor because they understand that heat rises to the top. We all know that heat rises to the top. So they put it in the floor when you go to Japan, when you go to China. Because, when I first was stationed in Japan, when I was a Marine, I was like, why they have heated floors, even though it's nice on your feet, right? Because you hate going to the bathroom, you hate, and it's cold, and your feet cold, and you get even colder, but their floors are always warm, which actually warms up the entire, house or apartment. Same thing in China. They was actually heating these palaces with some sort of heating source and would heat up, the palaces that way. I mean, again, even back then, the technology, a lot of things that we saw, ladies and gentlemen, it was absolutely awesome. Okay. Too many pictures here of the same picture. Even these emblems here mean something, and it's dragons. And again, I was blown away because I'm somewhat of a history, connoisseur. I love to assume history from all different cultures, because my main thing is, how did we get here? How do we have all this? And this right here was kind of walking up the steps. And again, look at the artistry in this, right? And not that I know what these symbols are, I know what the dragons are, but this looked like a rolling ocean down here. If you guys can see that rolling ocean, this could be a tide that's splashing over. Whatever you want to make it to be, regardless, if you are a lover of art, if you're a lover of history, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just appreciating the art in it. Because sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, even to know what something means, right? The appreciation of this visually looking at something and interpreting it for whatever you think it is may be far greater than what it actually means. That's just my opinion, okay? Again, dragons, and again, the symbolizer of dragon and power, a lot of that has to do with, and I had to take a picture of this, right? Not because to show people that, oh, this is, they had these hole in the ground where people, either, urinate or take a number two to, defecate, so to speak. But this is the same thing that they had in Korea. Okay. When I was in Korea back in, 2001, 2002, I used to have a group called LIK. LIK meant Lost in Korea. It was anywhere between 6 to 12 of us. We would get on the Korean subway and we would just, point at a location and we would go and we would just walk around, right? And some places where they didn't usually see foreigners, especially Black foreigners, we would get looks. Not mean just like, okay. They'll just look at us kind of weird. And when we go to the bathroom, we saw the same thing. So it kind of brought back memories. And again, to the Western mind, we like, oh, heck no. That is because, right? Believe it or not, this is the proper way to use the bathroom. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me get close and personal with you guys. I know with the Western mind, this is an absolute no. Am I going to rip out my toilet and do this? No. I have bad knees from college football. I have bad knees from the military. Not going to do it. Okay. But my wife and I, we have those stands that you put your feet on that raises your knee, because it helps your bowel movements to pass through your digestive tract a lot easier. You'll know that your defecating will be a lot easier if you were squatting or you had something to lift your feet on. I'm not lying. You know how you be on a toilet all day? Not anymore. You don't supposed to be on a toilet no more than 10, 15 minutes. That's how a lot of people start to develop hemorrhoids, because you're in the bathroom 30 minutes to an hour. So again, I'm just telling you, Korea, Japan, China, they had this, and we was like, I said, oh yeah, babe, I know. She said, but babe, I don't want to go, because if you have your clothes on, it can, especially women, their stuff can dip in the water, or that's why some women wear dresses and things of that nature. I say, as a man, I'm just taking it off. I'm taking it off and I'm hanging it up and I'm gonna do my business, right? The only thing I never used the bathroom like this when I was in China, by the way, because it was only in certain areas, right? We saw most of these sort of bathrooms in Beijing, and this again was at the Great Wall. But my only thing is, for someone like me with bad knees, the only improvement that I would make to this, not telling them to change their culture or anything like that, on the door or on the side, have me something so I can hold on to. Because once I get down with these bad knees, it's hard to get up, even though I got strong thighs, but the knees, yeah, it has some ligament tears and things of that nature. Okay, I digress. I know I kind of went on a tangent on that, but it was very interesting. Okay. Again, let me back out here, because a lot of these pictures are repetitory. And again, everything means something. Everything means something. This is made out of metal. The artistry in it, everything was wonderful. Okay. Another dragon. They talked about when I think one of the queens, empress, one of the empress got this built, and she was going to put a moat down here at the bottom because for some reason this area at the palace kept catching on fire, and this was years ago. So she had an idea of fixing this area where the part of the palace would not catch on fire. So part of it was build it with metal. The other part was, build it with stone. And the other part was to have a moat down at the bottom where most of it could be submerged. So it's going to be airtight. Because all those other things, even the roofs here, I thought this was some other material. It's wood. So when they kept building this building in this particular area, I think it got burnt down 2 or 3 times. The lady was telling us, okay. What is here? We saw a lot of clocks, okay, a lot of clocks, and some of these clocks came from around the world. By the way, not all these are Chinese clocks, but I took pictures of almost all the clocks. I'm a watch guy. I love timepieces, so I have all types of watches. I won't tell you the type of watches I have, but I have a couple of nice pieces, and I just appreciate that. See, you got some art here. Again, I'm just kind of rolling through this, guys. A lot of this I didn't show on my videos because it's more personal to me. I forgot the name of this place. I forgot the name of it, but we did go, and it shows you an aerial view of the palace. This is outside the palace, right outside the palace. Again, we went to this restaurant that was right outside the palace. Now, when it came to this, for me, it was the texture. Now, these cranberry cubes or whatever it was, that was good. And this was supposed to be like a dessert plate. And I didn't like, I think this is a mint leaf. I didn't like the rest of it. And my wife didn't like the rest of it. But those cranberry cubes were pretty good, okay? And the food that we got there was pretty cool. We had hot pot, with the beef and all that. And ladies and gentlemen, and what I meant by we did the hot pot wrong, you see all the little sauces and stuff that we had a little bit more sauces, and we were just dumping it all in the hot pot. We were just dumping it all in the hot pot. And that's not how you do it. That's why we were like, oh, this is bland. Yeah, silly Americans. Now, here's the area view of the palace, or the Forbidden City, so to speak. This thing is humongous. Now, of course, when we say city, we're thinking a lot larger because, again, this quote-unquote city is inside of Beijing, another city. But it also had me think about the Vatican. I don't know if you guys ever been to the Vatican. I have not been to the Vatican. But they will tell you Vatican City, but Vatican City is actually inside of another city, right? But that's the way I picture it. But nevertheless, for one man to have all of this and oh man, it's just, again, tremendous. It was a marvel, okay? Now, if you guys are into business, I thought about this. My wife and I, we keep thinking about these business adventures, and I'm going to give you a little bit of my intellectual property. And if you guys want to do it, you may even do it better than me. This coffee machine, when I look at Japan, when I look at China in regards of vending, they have, especially in Japan, they have vending machines everywhere, and they're outside. I mean, you want a cold drink, you want a hot drink, you want a snack, just walk in Japan, in Tokyo. You're going to find a vending machine that has something that you're going to get, whether it be in the subway or on the street, okay? Now, this was coming right out from one of the tourist attractions, and we was like, wow, fresh ground coffee. And again, for any Americans who are watching this, I'm not saying we don't have this. I'm just saying I don't see it. That's all I'm saying. I may be living in the wrong area, okay? I may be living in the wrong area, but it was just a lot of things that we saw that we, was like, wow, okay. We visited BYD. This was right beside a hotel, so we had to look at it. This was the Temple of Heaven, okay? The Temple of Heaven, another monstrosity, same ingenuity. And if I can recall correctly, It was either one or two emperors that got all of this constructed, I believe, in 20 years or 10 years. It was either 10 or 20 years. Because my wife and I were like, wow, how did they build this in that amount of time, right? Have you ever been driving past construction in your city or town and you're like, wow, they've been working on this for a year, right? And we got all the machinery, we got manufacturing, got all the industrialization. They did this by hand, right? They probably had some ropes and stuff like that, but they did majority of this by hand. They was forming things by hand. I was just like, wow. And don't get me wrong, I've been to over 40 countries and I've seen, but I still marvel at what men and human beings can do. Not just Chinese, not just, Japanese, not just Korean, but all around the world. All around the world. When we went to Mexico, when we saw one of the seven wonders of the world, the Chichen Temple, I just marvel at greatness of human beings altogether. But when you go to a particular country, I marvel at the ingenuity of that country. No matter their influence, no matter where they possibly got the technology, but they did it. It was just one of those things like, wow, babe. And my wife, like, you get so excited about this stuff. And she was low key excited because, it was one of those, China was one of those trips where, people looked at you like, man, you going to China? I was like, yeah. They're like, huh, okay. You going to China. All right. Okay, you going to China. All right. Nothing bad to say, but just, okay, you're going to China. All right. This was Temple of Heaven. This was very interesting. This picture here, these people are from India. Again, I can't give you the full context of why these troops were there. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know, but this was back in 1901. And by the way, I would have showed you, but a lot of this was in Mandarin or some sort of dialect of, that maybe some Chinese people speak, okay? All right. Now, this, believe it or not, this was in a regular Nike store. We were trying to find our authentic Nike store. We were trying to find our son some shoes that fit him. Let's see here. Scrolling down. The Great Wall of China. Yep, here's the Great Wall. This is me on the Great Wall, ladies and gentlemen. And believe me, when they tell you that the Great Wall of China is great, it is absolutely great. 13,000. Thank you guys for correcting me. Not 1,300. 13,000. And by this time, I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I'm a little fatigued. And the little Chinese kid right here, he walking like it ain't nothing. He said, the problem is you're fat. He didn't say that. But that is how I imagine. He's looking at me like, yeah, you lost about 50 pounds. You'll be okay. Don't worry. I'm working on it, young man. I'm working on it. Okay. But yeah, the Chinese Wall, again, the Great Wall of China. I mean, no other name can suit it. It is a great wall. 13,000 miles of a wall. Lord have mercy on our souls. Wow. Now, if you go to the Great Wall, okay, I want you to listen to me very clearly here. If you go to the Great Wall, you have to go to this restaurant. I know a lot of you. Do I know the name of the restaurant? No, but it's like the only real restaurant when you come down from the Great Wall going up to the Great Wall of China. Now, I tasted this. Now, I have this kind of thing. I'm not a beer drinker, by the way. I'm not a beer drinker. But every country I go to, I just drink I try one of their beers. I really don't drink alcohol. I don't really drink beer. But when I go travel, I had me one of the beers there. I call it the Xing Tao. I don't know if that's the way that you pronounce it, but that's what I call it, okay? And here's the menu. Again, it was in English as well. Had a lot of delicious things on here. We were like, we're going to get fat. Or fatter, rather. Yeah. Everything was good. All the food was good, okay? And for people who kept saying, oh, you went to China, you didn't try. I did try the Perkin duck. This was what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. It was so damn good. This Perkin duck by the Great Wall, Now, we had Perkin-Duck in other places, and it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. It wasn't like this, though. That's why I say I take my head off to the chef. This Perkin-Duck, the outside was crispy. The inside was moist and juicy. Oh, you did a great job. That damn Perkin-Duck would change your life, ladies and gentlemen. I was like, black fried chicken or Chinese Perkin-Duck. God damn it. I was like, give me both, okay? Give me both. I can't choose. I can't choose it. Yeah, I ate that whole plate. And I think my wife had 1 or 2 pieces because she was mad because I ate majority of it. Okay, now here's a shopping place we went to, all the popular brands, Polo, Boss, Coach, you see it. Again, I'm looking at the streets. I'm looking at the power lines. I'm looking at the buildings. When I tell you in Beijing, because I know a lot of people, oh, you should have went to this town. You should have went here. And then, someone had the audacity. Someone in the comment section had the audacity to ask me, did I see any homeless people in China? I did not. Oh, some people are like, oh, you need to go to some small towns. But I think the comment regarding the small town had to do with that the infrastructure was still good and that the food was good or something like that. But it was almost like when someone said, do you see any homeless? Listen. When I travel, I don't go. The only place that I traveled to that I went into what I called the slums or the low impoverished areas was Brazil. When I went to Rio de Janeiro, Copacabana area of Brazil, we went to a favela, which is in America, we call it, the hood, the ghetto, or the trailer park, whatever demographic you represent, or the hills, right? Because it was a tour, right? We were just curious. It was a tour. We didn't go off the beaten path and they're like, let's go to a favela. You probably wouldn't be seen again. But anyway, 9 times out of 10, when I go to a country, I'm not trying to visit your impoverished areas. Why? Why? I mean, America has its impoverished areas. Why? I don't want to go there, okay? Unless I'm helping people. Now, if I go, I'm helping people. I'm not go to exploit anything. That's so silly. So, you see any homeless people? No. And I don't want to see any homeless people because I hope that nobody's homeless. I digress. I can go off on a tangent. I'm sorry. People just ask some of the silliest questions. Anyway, I thought this was funny right here, this KFC truck, and that must be Colonel Sanders. And then you see coffee. You see KFC right here, and you think this is Colonel Sanders, and it say K coffee, right? It was like, wait a minute, what are you trying to do here? Okay, what are you trying to do? We were so confused about that. Now, see this K Lotus massage place. We had an excellent massage. We did cupping. We did traditional Chinese cupping. And if you guys watch one of the videos, I show where she had this glass bowl where she heated up and put it on my feet and it's stuck because of, the air pressure. But nevertheless, she told me it's to extract wetness out of your feet when I was getting the massage done, okay? More food, where we grill food. We had sushi. Everything was good. And yeah, this may be Japanese food or whatever. It don't matter, right? The food was good, okay? The food was good. See here, the malls at Oriental Plaza. Good time there. More food. Here's one of the vehicles. And people may know what this symbol mean on the steering wheel. You guys may know that car brand. But I was showing just like a Tesla, just like myself. And let me tell you something. I know I don't really talk about things that I materialistically have. Everybody who personally knows me knows that I love one type of vehicle. One type of vehicle. This same type of vehicle, ladies and gentlemen, I've been having since 2015. This is the only type of vehicle I have been having since 2015. Now, I've had other vehicles, but I've always had this one type of vehicle, Genesis. Everybody who knows me, they know I always had a Genesis that is made by Hyundai by the way of Korea. When I was stationed in Korea, because I was stationed in Korea for 4 years, I did a lot of tours, right? I did a tour of the, when they first started kind of producing the 2015 new body styles of Genesis, because that's what I bought when I came back to the States. I saw the, the ingenuity, the manufacturing, the level of care. Either they had an Italian team to come and build the chairs, and because they use Napa leather. Oh, I mean, again, if you're a car person, then you know what I'm talking about. You just want to see it and then experience it, right? But I just took pictures of just the most randomest things because they were just so interesting, right? If you ever get a drink, this passion fruit craft beer, I never seen it. It was good. It was good. Xiaomi, the same people who make phones that we are familiar with, they make awesome cars in China. I mean, I just was taking random pictures. This was driving, no less. Let's see here. Of course, good old American had a burger and fries. Good old American. And believe me, I thought, let me have burger and fries at a regular restaurant in China, not a McDonald's or Burger King. Even though every country my wife and I go to, we always want to stop at McDonald's. We don't even eat McDonald's food, ladies and gentlemen. We think it's absolutely gross. We think it's poison, especially in America. But yet again, we still try it when we're overseas because we want to know the difference. Now, what's curious about this picture here is the sesame seed on the bottom. We was like, that's different. They use top and bottom bread, but it was good. It was good. Again, no complaints. No complaints from me. This was, again, close to our hotel. This is another temple right smack in Shanghai. This was in, I believe this was in Shanghai. Yep, we're back in Shanghai now, okay? And again, this is right downtown. And I want you guys to just look at the way that China is built. Now, granted, when we was in Beijing, especially on tour and just walking around, we got some of the, we got a lot of stares. We got a lot of looks. None of the looks that we witnessed in Beijing were mean. Like what we consider mean. Now, what's great about going to China in general, and especially Beijing, my wife and I, we love tea, right? We're not big coffee drinkers, even though we have like a bevel barista downstairs, because they're like, we're going to drink coffee. We're going to drink the very best. But when it came to tea in China, we could not fathom the amount of different teas they have in the world. Not just green tea, not just white tea, fruit tea, this tea, that tea. You want tea, and they have a tea for everything. You got a stomach ache, drink this tea. You got cancer, drink that tea. I mean, it's crazy. And the way we view tea in America, Lipton, they don't play in China about their tea, okay? Don't you ever talk to a Chinese person who's into tea about tea, because they're going to blow you out the water. They know every damn tea in the world, right? That's how they heal themselves. That's how they, stay in good health, so to speak. But nevertheless, don't play with, they got tea out the yin yang, okay? And no pun intended. They got tea out the yin yang. What's interesting about this picture other than the infrastructure, right? Because as I was telling you, in Beijing, they will stare at us. They wanted to take pictures with us. And I saw white people. I saw white people in Beijing. I saw white people in Shanghai. From my experience, when those Chinese people were around, white people, they just was walking past them like they were nothing. But when they saw my wife and I, by the way, we were the only Black people at the Forbidden City, at the Temple of Heaven, at another area that we saw, okay? But they wanted to take pictures with us. They would look at us kind of like, with curiosity, with being intrigued. And I just like, there's not a lot of Black people in China. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of Africans. I won't say a lot. You'll see an African here and there, right? But they was really intrigued and took pictures. We don't know why. I thought it was funny. I'm not gonna lie. I said, babe, I want you to picture this. You go to a country, right? And the people are intrigued because of you being a foreigner, maybe because you're Black. And then they want to take a picture with you, a random picture of a stranger, right? And the only thing I can boil it down to is there's not a lot of Black foreign American tourists in China. Not to say that they knew that I was American versus being from Africa. No. But that's just my take on it. That's my honest take on it. And I'm thinking here, they're going to take a picture of me, my wife. They're in the picture with us. Have a friend take it. And then they're going to show their friends maybe. And this is just a joke, okay? This is just a joke. So don't take offense to it. So this Chinese person is usually a young person. They was usually 25 to 15 from what I can tell. They take a picture and they say, hey, we went to the Forbidden City today and we saw Black people. They're like, you saw Black people? Yeah, we saw Black people. Did you get a picture with a Black person? Yeah, I got a picture with a Black person. You didn't get a picture with a Black person? Yes, we got a picture with a Black person. Show me the picture of the Black person. Look, oh my God, you took a picture with a Black person at the Forbidden City. That's the joke. Then you're looking at this picture like, yeah, they're Black. They was in China at the Forbidden City. Oh man, I didn't believe it until you showed me. I didn't believe you. That was a joke. Harmless to me, maybe not harmless to you, but I promise you all in good fun. I just thought it was funny the entire time. Okay, I'll take a picture. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do with the picture. I don't know if you're going to use AI and make me do flips on top of the bullet train. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I'm a nice guy. I don't care. Enjoy, right? It was a great experience. I don't care. But what's intriguing about this picture is this model up here. It's a Black woman. Yeah. In China, they had billboards of, Black people, white people, Asian people. They had it, right? I was like, wow. Now, granted, I want you guys to take this for what it's worth. I've lived in Korea, I've lived in Japan, and I've visited China. When I go to these countries, I've never had an issue in Japan, in Okinawa, in Tokyo. Never. Some of the most honorable people on this world, in my opinion, regardless of what I think they think about me, I don't care, are Japanese people, right? They move out your way. They're very respectful. Just some honorable people, right? When I went to Korea, similar but different. Did I face any discrimination in Korea? A little, but not much. I was there for 4 years, so I had many different experiences, right? After a while, I felt like I just was part of Korea because you there so long, you started to understand the culture, you start speaking a couple of words, right? You just kind of pick up some things. But I don't have anything totally negative to say about Korea, but I did face a little bit of discrimination here and there, right? In China, zero. I didn't. I mean, if I was being discriminated upon, I must have been blind to it. And I'm not just talking about my race. I'm talking about my nationality, being an American. I didn't feel it. I didn't see it. But there was all these pictures of this Black woman in this area, and we've seen some other ones as well. Okay, so that was intriguing. And we took pictures, just random pictures that I was telling you guys, all throughout Shanghai. I know you guys can see these pictures. And again, these pictures, if you look at the cars, I know enough with the cars. I got it. I know. But I'm just looking at the infrastructure. I'm probably looking at the best of the best. But some people will argue with that because Shenzhen is pretty good. Shandong is pretty good. So again, I'm just looking at another great city in China. Downtown Shanghai, I believe this is along the Nanjing Road area. This monstrosity by Louis Vuitton. So if you look at this picture, it's a ship, but it's also shaped and looked like a purse. Look at the top. It looks like a purse almost, but they still had it shaped like a ship. You see these, like a fastener right here that you would on a purse, and you see the portholes like on a boat. They did a really good job building this. Like, I was just blown away by it. Okay. Here's the anchor with the Louis Vuitton symbol. There was, freelancers out there trying to take pictures, glamorizing pictures. Let's see what else. Euphoria, Shanghai, Nanjing Road. This was an Apple store. Look at this Apple store. I never seen nothing like it. I'm just saying, why? Why do they build this, right? I'm thinking they could have had concerts here. They probably do. They probably have exhibits and prototypes out here. They probably do. Again, right there in Shanghai, I was just wild the entire time. If you want to catch the subway, there it is, right? In English, they have an app for it, or you can just, read it because it was very easy. What else do we have here? Now, I forgot the name of this garden. Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot the name of this garden. It's another tourist attraction. The garden was beautiful. Dragons. Yeah, it's so much symbolism in Chinese culture. You just have to study it to understand it, right? Even these rocks mean something with the holes in it. I forgot what it meant, what it was used for. A tall tale of water degradation. I don't know. It was so much. This picture here, this was done by hand, ladies and gentlemen. And I know if you've been traveling, you've seen this again, but again, putting this all into context, putting this all together, what a wonderful, wonderful, place to be. The garden. Here's one of those vehicles I was talking about that a lot of people are like, oh no, that's a big car company. They do really well. Okay, there it is. Would I drive that? Is that my type of vehicle? I would give it to my son. It looks kind of kiddie, but it still looks sleek. I love the 3-ring dots there. And yeah, we went to what was this called? The not the Shanghai Temple, the tower. The Tower of Shanghai. I forgot. You guys know what this called, right? We was up on a 119th floor. And unfortunately, during the time that we went, it was foggy, okay? Viewing the world from the top of Shanghai. Again, food. You're going to see a lot of food. We had a lot of food. What else? See, Cartier. Here we go. Now, if you guys were looking for knockoff items in China, I can't tell you where to go because I don't know where to go. I just know where I've been. What I'm talking about. They safeguard these areas that they make these counterfeit items, or I don't want to say counterfeit because how can I say this to be politically correct? If you have a good imitation of a product, if you have a carbon copy of an item, is it fake? Because some people, oh, that's a good fake. Let me tell you about these shoes I bought. These shoes are not fake Nikes. Let me tell you why. The shop where I bought them from were technically underground, right? And I didn't buy this from an official Nike store, but are they official Nikes? What I found out, because our guide that got us here very, very, I have her number still on my WeChat. I have her number still. She knew a little bit of English, but she was so damn nice, right? She would take us around to all these shops that make, replicas of, authentic products, so to speak. And she didn't ask for a dime because they were paying her. These shops pay her. But, we invited her for lunch. She's like, oh, if you ever come back to China, and we got real personal with her because we went 3-4 times. And we spent hours with this lady. So it was a good time. But nevertheless, let me get back on this. These are authentic materials that they make these same Nikes in the Nike shop, in the Nike factory, in the Nike store. What I found out through our guide, I'll call her a guide because she guided us through a lot. And then, as you're down, downstairs in these other shops, people are like, oh, can you, salespeople being salespeople. But she guarded us from that. Kind of like the guy named Eric in Ghana. Okay. He did the same thing. He protected us, so to speak. These are authentic Nikes that has not been certified by Nike. Do you care? If they're using the same materials, the same remnants, the leftovers, whatever, and they're producing a shoe Do you care if Nike said, it's good, next? I don't. They're still Nikes. Like, if I could blow this, let me blow this up for you guys. Because I know some of you Nike heads out there, oh man, the seams are off. No. From what I see, this shoe is immaculate. I don't see nothing wrong with it, right? I started to look at right here. You see right here how this is, but it's like that on the other shoe. So that's part of the design, like no straight line, so to speak. I looked at every fabric of this shoe and it was done well. Because what come to find out, a lot of these Chinese businesses create all of these American products, and with all the remnants, the residue, the leftover material, they said, well, we have a market right here in China that people will love these materials. If we put them together for them, they could sell it again. I have no problems with it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm cheap. I'm frugal. I'm cheap. I don't care. Now this watch, Patek Philippe, did I pay $20,000, $30,000 for an authentic copy with the real deal? No. Did I pay a couple of thousand? Yeah, because it's still a real Patek Philippe. Let me tell you, I saw where they made them and how they make them. And let's just say I got a good one. I'll just leave it like that. Yeah. Oh, if you go to Shanghai too, you have to go here. The Starbucks Reserve Roastery. Man, what a marvel to see here, ladies and gentlemen. What a marvel to see here. That's some of the food we got there. That's one of the coffee drinks we got there. I thought I had a picture of how they actually roast the beans and all of that. Now, this is again around Nanjing Road. And we were like, man, these mangoes are huge. And again, I don't know if it's natural. Was it created in a factory? I don't know. We just know that my wife and I, we love yellow mangoes because they're some of the juiciest, sweetest, and easy to eat. They're not like the hard mangoes that kind of look yellow and red and green. If you ever had mangoes, believe me, these are the mangoes you want to eat, okay? These are the mangoes you want to eat. Urban, how my wife said, Revivo or something like the Revivo, whatever. My wife went in here and shopped in here. Good time. The only thing I bought from here was a cologne that has, now, I don't know if you guys are big cologne people or perfume people. I am. And I know the scents that I love. I love Middle Eastern's cologne, and I love colognes that have bergamot, sandalwood, leathery smell, oud. I love those smells. And Urban Revivo had a cologne that had the notes of a Santal 33. If you guys haven't been to these higher echelons hotels, they have body wash and lotion that's Santal 33. The bergamot in these substances, ladies and gentlemen, it makes me, I'm in love with that smell. Now, I love my wife more, but I love that bergamot and oud and sandalwood and musk. Oh, man. I be smelling damn good. Anyway, enough about me. Again, I was telling you all throughout, and now these people look like Black Americans, right? iPhone 7, Black Americans. Cowgirl trail ride. That's what I was thinking about when I saw this cowgirl trail ride. When you go down south, you go to those cowgirl trail rides. Perfect, right? Again, in China. Okay, I can't stunt here, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the temple that's right down in Shanghai where they burn incense, I think, primarily all day. Again, we kind of just stumbled upon that. We didn't have any plans to go visit that. Here's the skyline. This is us at the Bund. The Bund is a very popular tourist attraction, but it's a very popular area for, even Chinese people right there by the water. And I don't know if I caught any of the buildings because right here at the Bund, you see the buildings in the background. It's almost like a show. All of these buildings has these moving pixels. They show different diagrams and pictures. It's so lively, just built on the light of the Bund. And around the Bund, they have all of these terrific restaurants, great food. Man, I'm telling you, I know if anybody say he really selling China. I didn't get paid by the Chinese government. I'm just giving you my honest take on China. Okay. Okay. That's all I'm doing. If you go to the Bund while you're in China, you got to go to live off the land. Bar none, you got to go to live off the land. Let me tell you, it's a Chinese person, a young guy. He went to school in California. What was the name? He went to USC, University of USC, the Trojans. He went back to China and opened up a restaurant. Believe me, he did a great job. The food there, bar none. Some of the best food we had in China. And then we tasted all of these different wines. Oh, man, it makes me want to go back. Now, I don't know what this is, but it's sort of like a green, but it was good. This is prawns. That was good. That is what that is. That was good. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the food that we had, I can't name it all. I'm not a chef, but believe me, I'm a connoisseur of eating and all the food. This is duck. Now, let me tell you about this right here. When I ordered this, I had no idea what the hell I was ordering. And as I looked at this more and more and more, do you know these are whole damn ducks, baby ducks? I'm tearing it up too. I'm tearing it up. I'm tearing it up. And then my wife said, "Did you look at it, babe?" I said, "What?" She said, "Babe, that's a duck head, body, and legs." I said, "Oh my God." I said, I had the duck in my hand like this. I said, "Oh my God. Damn, that duck's so good." I still ate it. I ain't gonna lie. I had live octopus in Korea, guys. Yeah, I'm one of them people. If I see other people eat it and don't die, I tried. Okay. This was a restaurant we went to that was close, walking distance to our hotel in Shanghai. And all the soups were good. This soup, I mean, I don't want to go on and on. I had some ribs because I just want to taste how ribs done in China. It was good. It wasn't the best like in Texas. No, it wasn't Texas level. Texas got some, the best ribs, in my opinion. Some people will say Memphis. Some people will say Missouri. Texas got the best. But it was still good, okay? It was still good. This is a train station. Look at this monstrosity. And here's another thing, when they build stuff in China, from what I saw, they build it to look good. Have you noticed in America, we make things either look very, very corporate or we make it look very industrialized? They make it look good, in my opinion, okay? So now this is a city we went to called Watson Valley. This is about, was it 1 or 2 hours away from my hotel in Shanghai? But this is a city that they built inside of a rock quarry. And they still building. They haven't finished yet. Okay, they haven't finished yet. For you guys who are not familiar, you want to go, I would definitely go to this city. It was a great time. We saw a lot of great things. Again, this is part of the part they were building. And when you're up there, again, it's a whole nother city, whole nother town. But this is definitely a tourist attraction. Okay. And it's humongous. It's pretty big, in my opinion. Okay, we're just gonna scroll through some of these pictures so you guys to see it. Okay, different areas within Waxan Valley. This is an area view. We went up to one of the high points to look, because from what I can take, there's areas of the city where the people who work there, they live there too. Okay, they live there too, because a lot of the construction, it will be, I guess, a long drive going back and forth with a lot of these people. So they just going to live there. They're going to live there either, for as long as they can live there. I don't know, but we know that people were living there. Not in what you see that looks kind of like ancient Chinese buildings and stuff. I don't know about that, but the modernized, we know people was living inside of there. Okay. Again, just regular pictures. Okay, stuff that we were eating, a chocolate waffle. Okay. Yeah, we had a great time. It was getting dark and we had to hurry up because our we caught a bullet train here, not a, yeah. So to get to Waksan Valley from Shanghai, we had to catch a 1 to 2 hour bullet train, and then we had to catch we caught a tax or DD. We caught a DD for an hour. So it's really off the beaten path, so to speak. But man, this city really comes to life at night. And it got crowded, but it was still a good time. Okay. We had to rush back, so we were sweating and trying to get back, but I was still trying to take pictures. Like, that's why they blurry. I was trying to take pictures on the go. Okay. Who is this guy? He must have knew I was this person right here. She knew I was taking a picture. She like, let me get up in that thing. Okay. Sorry for the blurry pictures, guys. We was in a rush. We had to catch a train. Now, this city that we caught the train from, another small city. I don't know how big it is, but it was industrialized. And again, here's me just taking pictures of the cars inside, technology, right? And let's see. Yeah, this is from the Didi app, okay? See, driver's on his way, 7 minutes. The Taste of China in Shanghai. You got to go. Bar none, you got to go. When you're in the, now, let me tell you the story about the Taste of China, how we got there. So when we went to that restaurant called Live Off the Land, and we was he came to us, he introduced himself. This was the owner. He said, how's your time in China? I said, we're having an awesome time. He said, well, we hope you love the food here. He gave us the wine tasting for free. He gave us some other things for free. We had an awesome time. He was really nice. He spoke great English because he went to school in the U.S., really nice guy. Midway through the dinner, he said, hey, if you guys get an opportunity, you have to go to Taste of China. And he knew the name of the owner. Now, we said, okay. We go to Taste of China, and you see the guy here. It was another lady beside him. And we was like, hey, can we get a table or whatever? He said, oh, reservation only. We're like, reservation only? We was like, can we speak to your manager? That's what I said. I said, can I speak to your manager? He's like, manager? Like, yes, manager. He goes and get the manager. Manager comes out. Manager knew perfect English. Perfect. I said, hey, the owner, and I think his name was Dan or something, he told us, the owner of Live Off the Land told us to come see you. And I said his name. He said, yeah, that's my name. He said, yeah, he told me to come see you. So we can have an experience at Taste of China. He said, oh, it's by reservation only. I said, no one told us. He said, hold on. He goes back in the back. He said, let me talk to the chef. Comes out, a family canceled. He said, you're in luck. We was like, yes. So we go into the Taste of China, right? And ladies and gentlemen, what I'm telling you, it was an immersive restaurant, movie, theater, encompassing every being of yourself, right? From the food, the drinks. There were these projection monitors everywhere. They project stuff on your table. They project stuff on the wall. I mean, they say they actually have, I think, another one in LA. But it's so immersive and interactive. I thought, what a great concept that they did with this. And I also found out a fun fact. If you guys are familiar with the app trip.com, trip.com, they are part owners of the Taste of China. And come to find out, there's a lot of American investors in trip.com. And trip.com is mostly, from what I could tell, is a Chinese-based company that does, travel and tourism and stuff of that nature. A really good app, by the way. We did a lot of our planning on trip.com, and for some tours, Get Your Guide is another app that's pretty good. That has lower prices than trip.com in some tours. But what you see on my table here, this is all projection. And as they're telling this story with a panda, no less, because again, pandas are huge in China. And pandas, by the way, are part of kind of like the bear family, right? You have a black bear, brown bear, panda bear. They're part of the bear family. But nevertheless, They project this all on your table, and there's stuff you can actually touch on your table from the projectors that actually interact with you. Now, as this panda is traveling through China, he's trying to discover a new taste, a new experience. As he's traveling, he's giving you also the history of where hot pot came from, and Peking duck came from, and this fish come from. And why he's doing that, you're having the meal. Good experience. Now, let me tell you this. This plate right here, it wasn't nasty, but it wasn't that good. This plate right here, you be like, oh, that looks horrible. It was delicious. Whatever this soup was, it was delicious, okay? Now the hot pot. All these different sauces that I told you we was doing it wrong, we started to do it right? You got the noodles. You don't supposed to put them in there that long. But a lot of things you kind of dip and put in your fold. We got the meat. Man, we had, let me tell you, this food was good. These are some of the actors. I believe that this guy here is an actual Shaolin monk. He did a couple of moves that, hey man, you've been practicing, okay? But everything was interactive. A lot of things was on the screen. A lot of things were actually in person. We had a good time. Now, for people who've been, if you don't know what this place is, and I know a lot of you guys are going to beat me up in the comment section like, man, you don't know the name of nothing, so we go to China, we don't know. Calm down, okay? Calm down. I just know that this entire monstrosity is a building, okay? Yeah, with the McLaren outside. Yep, McLaren. I'm a car guy, McLaren. That the whole building is top-notch level spa treatment, right? We're talking about not just a regular massage, hot stone or massage, not just massages. People actually sleep on the top floor in this, oasis, because one floor, they do massages and facials. Another floor, they have massaging chairs and relaxation and card tables. And they also had a video game room. And on the bottom floor, they have food, right? All you can eat. Once you get inside this building, everything is absolutely free, right? They had hot pools and cold pools and, the Santal 33. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with this scent right here, Santal 33, whoever, I forgot, what's it called? Le Bon, whatever company, this is the official company right here. Some of you guys know how to pronounce it, I don't. If you get the authentic smell from Santal 33 of this company right here, ladies and gentlemen, it's such an addictive smell. And only high-end luxury places really have it, because believe me when I tell you, it's expensive. But that scent, I'm telling you, there's only a couple of scents that I want, and it's that scent. It's I have a favorite cologne. I have two favorite colognes. I have an everyday cologne. That's the Sean John Unforgiven. But one of my favorites cologne is called Ajmal 2, Ajmal 2. It's an Arabic cologne. They have, again, the bergamot, the sandalwood, the leather, the musk, the oud. Man, Santal 33, you guys did it. That's an awesome smell. Also in this high luxury place, caviar. This is the second time I had caviar. It was good. It was, fish heads, but it was good. In this same place, they had, walls of different drinks. You can just drink, all you want. I think I moved. I didn't take too much. I was a little gun shy when it came to videotaping some of these places, because I felt like I didn't want to infringe or impede on people's privacy. So some things I'm very reluctant to take. I want to be respectful of people's privacy. We went to the Shanghai Zoo. Okay, I'm gonna kind of just scroll through this. I went to the Shanghai Zoo. You had some toucan birds up there. Crouching tiger, hidden dragon. I'm kidding. You get it? Crouching tiger, and then you have a dragon, right? Anyway, you guys get it. You get on the way home. What is this? That is the airport. That was the end of the pictures. Okay. I have more if you guys watch the videos. Some things I had to delete because of the space. And I also bought a bike when I was there. Let me see if I still have that picture. Let me see if I have that app still on my phone. See, WeChat. The guy I bought the bike from, and because I cycle, believe it or not, he was really good. He didn't know too much English, but we did a lot of things by translation. A lot of these pictures here didn't get on the site, but I'm gonna show you right here so you guys can see it. Okay. And I put the bike in the bike bag. Oh, they said the pictures are no longer available. Okay. Well, I'm gonna show you the young man I bought the bike from. Hopefully you guys can see this. Okay. That's the young man I bought the bike from. It's an X-Lab bike. Now in China, X-Lab, Saba, these are real big names because this X-Lab bike was actually raced in Tour de France by the Asana team. And this bike right here in America would be $10,000 to $15,000 because of the aerodynamic of it, because of the group set. It's a Di2 Dura Ace group set, 28 C wheels, which I've had to convert when I brought it back to America. I had my Trek team to change it out to 32C. But yeah, again, this guy was wonderful, very nice. Just showing you a couple of pictures here of me buying it, so to speak. Okay. What else here? Let me see if I can do this real quick. Give me 1 second. There we go. You guys can see that. Let me see what else. What else? Let me see what I can show you guys. Let me see. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it when it came to the bike. Because I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff on my WeChat. Okay, I got a lot of stuff on my WeChat. What else here? Our lady friend is on here. A lot of people. Yeah. So our lady. See if I got any pictures. If we got any pictures with her. Okay. Don't really look at it. But we were showing her some of the stuff that we wanted. Like, hey, do you got this? You got backpacks like this, right? And because the WeChat actually translates it for you, right? We showed her stuff like this. Hey, you got that? Louis Vuitton purse. Like, we're not spending the real money for that. You crazy? We're not spending that. They got it right here, the real thing for cheap in China. That's what we're going to do. And I was trying to find this and say, hey, you guys got that? I'm trying to tell you that Centaur 33. I know I'm making somebody some money. But anyway, let me read some of your comments. I know that I've been on here a while just talking and running my lips. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed some of that, but I am going to read some of your comments because, again, if I had to say, and I've said this in my video, to be very transparent, the only negative things that I have in China, because I'm not going to deal about their politics. Their country is their country. If they don't have freedom of speech like Americans, they're not in America. They have a total different regime. I am talking about my experience and what I experienced. And thank you guys again for you guys that gave me the correction with the vehicles. It was not a Zeekr. It was a Yang Wang. The 1,300 miles of the Great Wall of China is 13,000 plus. So thank you guys for that. And a lot of you guys were absolutely nice about that. One more thing before I go to your comments. I did, I want to tell people they've been really nice to me. I was looking at a lot of your comments here. Let me show you. I'm looking at a lot of your comments. Let me see if I can translate. Can I translate this on here? On my phone, I can translate some of the things that are in Mandarin. Let me see. Let's see here. I can't translate it. Let me see if Google will translate it. Let me see. Translate. Yeah, here we go. Translate to English. Now, this person is not being so nice. They say, and I'm going to read it. I don't know if you guys can read it. People like you are usually either spoiled brats who watch too many short videos or elderly people who have lost their ability to think independently. My classmates come from various ethnic groups, and they themselves don't know why they need to be defended. Oh, yeah. Maybe he's responded to somebody. I don't know what that means. But there was a lot of great comments. Let me see if I can find some of the comments that you guys made. Give me 1 second. There was a lot of good comments. I want to point out the positivity. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Right here. Okay. I'm gonna blow up some of your comments here. Hopefully you guys can see them. I'm gonna blow them up as much as I can. All right. See, I'm new to your China. I just want to say welcome to China. Thanks for information video. Enjoy your time. What else? Okay. After visiting Shenzhen, you will realize how much we are behind China. No. I don't have to visit Shenzhen to know how much America is behind in China. I saw it in Beijing, which people in China are like, oh, Beijing is an old city. It's still a little advanced in America, I'll tell you that. I like the style, laid back and informative. Did you know that Japanese, and see people just putting stuff, Japanese 55 people in Asia, okay. Very nice camera work, the best I've seen so far. All of what you would believe is China so far. Thank you for taking us along your travels. Your trip looked amazing. People had a lot of nice, positive things to say. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I also appreciate all the corrections. I appreciate all comments, negative, positive, because even in a positive, even in a negative comment, I can still find something good. Carlos said, China is stunning. What a beautiful journey. Thanks for creating and sharing this amazing video about Beijing. Born and raised in Canada, we don't know much about the motherland. When I went to Canada, let me tell you, when I went to Toronto, no. Was it Toronto? Or was it? I forgot. It was Toronto. There's a lot of Asian people living in Toronto, by the way. Just to kind of let you guys know. I wanted to visit China where my ancestors came from. This will be on my bucket list. So he's definitely Chinese living in Canada, born in Canada as well. Warp says, glad you had a good time. You should check out Chongqing and Chengdu. Again, I may butcher the names. I apologize. Yeah, these two cities, as well as Shenzhen, we want to go to. Now, I'm on a quest. Every year I go to a different country. China is making me hard to go to Korea. Now, my wife and son have never been to Korea. I've lived in Korea for 4 years. So, you know, I'm not excited to go to Korea. Not because Korea is not a great country. I'm not saying that. Only because I've been there, done that. But they haven't been there. So we're going to go. I'd rather go back to China. Okay, just one more time. Maybe 2. No, I'm kidding. But we also got to do Australia, and then we do our European tour. Okay. We're not rich folks. People think we're rich. No, we save. So every month, my wife and I, we save money on our, we save money every month to take these trips. And we take these trips and we try to live well, right? The dollar is a little stronger in China. The dollar's a little stronger in Japan. The dollar's a little stronger in Korea, just a little. But nevertheless, we save up all year so we can fly first class and we have first class accommodations, right? We can't just go on a whim of a dime and pay for the best of the best. We're not built like that. We don't have money like that. But we do save every year. And that comes with sacrifices. Because some people are like, well, I'm at the end of my finances. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Stop eating out. Majority of the year, my wife and I, we cook right here inside of our home. And we save thousands of dollars from not eating out. We may eat out once a week or once or twice every 2 to 3 weeks. Because we have goals. We want to see the world. We want to experience other people. And let me just say this before I get to your comments, because I can keep going down all of these, but I'm talking about your live comments here. The Chinese people, the Korean people, the Japanese, well, no. You don't really find too many Japanese in America. But Korean and Chinese, you will run into Korean and Chinese people in America. I don't know you people. When I go to Korea, I virtually don't have any issues or problems of people being discriminatory or racist. When I went to China, no one was discriminatory racist. But when I look at Chinese people and Korean people that are here in America that have set up shop in the Black neighborhood, whatever the white man, the white racist man, not all white people, I'm not stating that. I want to make sure I'm clear. The white racist people have told you about Black people. They are wrong. Number one. Number two, don't get me wrong. I know you guys have experienced people who came inside your stores and stole a couple of items. I want you to understand the places where you put your shops at in the Black community, that is not the best of the Black community. You have your shops and stores in very impoverished areas that people are struggling to survive. And some of those people, they're going to do the wrong thing. They're going to take things that don't belong to them. They're going to steal. But by no fathom and chance of the word, you should ever judge Black people over a small, minute number, right? Oh, there was 10 Black people that stole from my shop in the past 2 years. There's over 45 million foundational Black Americans in this country. I would never judge a billion Chinese people by 100 Chinese people. I would never judge a 1,000 Korean people, the 50 or 100 million people that, that Koreans have, whatever the population of Korea. I will never do that. I would never judge you guys by a small sample size. But from what I've experienced in this country, coming from the Korean community, the Korean American community, the Chinese American community. Some of the tapes I've seen where they get into a verbal dispute with, a Black woman or Black women, where they lock the door on them and actually hit them and assault them. I've seen Chinese men assault Black women. Now, they don't ever do that when a Black man is around, by the way. So I don't know these Americanized Chinese people. I don't know you guys. I don't know the Americanized Korean people. I don't know you guys. Because when you're in your country, you guys are different. You guys are nicer. Now, of course, when I'm drinking here is tea. But believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this tea is not from China. This tea is actually from Kenya. Kenyan tea is good as hell. Let me tell you, the only thing I have in here is some honey, some lemon, and 2 tea bags. So I know there's a lot of countries with great tea, but some of the best tea I've tasted is from Kenya and from China. Okay. Now, I got that out the way. 2 things that may seem negative of my experience and what I saw in China. And it's not what you think. 2 things, and I said this on the video if you guys watch it. Someone told me that, I think I looked it up. Over 300 million Chinese men smoke. And you can tell. There's no smoking signs everywhere. You can smell cigarette smoke in certain areas, especially when we got into the DDs. They don't smoke while you're in there, right? They're very respectful. But you can still smell it on their clothing, their car, because it is on their clothing. Again, me and my wife, we don't smoke. So especially cigarettes, right? I used to smoke cigars, but it's a totally different smell. That cigarette smoke really sticks on your clothing, and one guy, he just got finished smoking and got inside of his car, and because of the fumes were still evaporating, it made us cough. But again, that was another thing. I don't know if you view that as negative or not, but a lot of them smoke. And then second, I'm just going to be, again, transparent. This is what we saw. I'm not making it up. Out of all the great things I said about China and the Chinese people, don't let this be the hang up for you. Don't let this be the hang up. There was 3 times we saw a Chinese man dig up his nose, come out with a booger, and eat it. I'm not lying. But other than that, the smoke and the boogers, that's it. That could be a new YouTube channel, Smoking Boogers. I'm kidding. But that again, that's our experience. I'm gonna read some of your comments over here. A lot of people saying good morning. Yeah, don't know too much Mandarin. Let's see. When I do road travel around Dallas. I stopped in a small town for lunch, and the road across town is so noisy because of combustion engine trucks. Okay. Knowing game, I think the pronouns is Gao Bao Ro, the meat covered by a hardened starch shell wrapped by sweet and sour sauce. Okay. Let's see. That statue is not a dragon. It's the son of a dragon called Q Lin. Okay. That dish called pot pork. Okay. Wow. You guys are just correcting everybody. Shout out to my longtime moderator. Nice to see you, Jermaine. Why are people so surprised by all these all these China is 5,000 years old. Yeah. Okay. I mean, people are surprised because America has depicted China as a very closed off nation, somewhat similar to North Korea, but not exact, because I know there's been Westerners traveling to China for, hundreds of years, but it's always been kind of taboo. That's why a lot of people don't know about China too much. And so people are still intrigued about China because the Western media depicts China from a political standpoint, right? They never really talk about China's infrastructure. They never really talk about anything else. They always talk about, they trying to take over and they're doing this. And that's possible. I'm not getting into the political, the Chinese government and American government. I'm not doing that. I'm not even involved politics. I talk about our politics. I'm not going to talk about international politics. Okay. China is the mother to all culture of the entire region. I don't know what that means. Okay. All right. Especially if you're new to Blacklogic. Now, a lot of you guys are subscribing because of the vacation videos. I'm going to let you know I always post my vacations. And if you look inside my playlist, there's a playlist called Travel. I have all my travels, Colombia, Japan, Kenya, South Africa, you name it, they're in there. But I will let you guys know, cat out the bag, in case you want to unsubscribe. This is not a vacation channel, but I do share my vacations. This is a political empowerment channel for Black Americans in this country, okay, built upon justice. And again, I wish that you would stay because you will learn a lot, not just about American politics, but you'll learn a lot about Black people and the lies that the Western media have been telling you guys, telling that we are violence prone and that we are monkeys and apes, all these very discriminatory, bigotry things. And I will prove them to be otherwise if you stay here. But I just want to let you know that this is not simply a vacation channel. Okay. And that's another thing about me. I'm very transparent. I'm be very neutral. It's hard for me to lie. Okay. It's very hard. Okay. This is a part of 200 years of shame of Chinese history. Let's see. Thanks for sharing the history. I appreciate that. Just click like. Thank you, Yoga. I appreciate that as well. USA been lied to. I'm Canadian, 25 years. The West is behind. Yes, we are. And believe me, my travels to China proves it. Let me turn on this fan. There we go. Let's see what else here. Because if these is a homeless, then the local bureaucrat will be fired. That part of get rid of poverty in China last decade. So I guess with that person, I don't know if that was kind of like broken English. I'm trying to make out what you're stating, Elizabeth. I guess what they're saying is that there's really no homelessness in China. That's what I'm getting. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. This is such a cozy trip, beautiful partnership and marriage. Thank you. I love my wife. The last time my wife and I had an argument, I think it was 2 seconds ago. I'm kidding. It was like 2 years ago. We don't really argue. We just have this. Yeah. See, buddy, if you like Genesis, you need to check Infinity. But no. I'm telling you guys right now, the only cars, in my opinion, that's going to be the Genesis. The Rivians are looking real nice, guys. The Rivians. I think Volkswagen owns a large part of Rivian. So you got maybe some, European swag in there. And then Amazon, they gave Rivian, I don't know, $800 billion, $800 million. I don't know. You got a little American swag in there. And I love the technology, right? my wife was in love with a Lucid. Then Lucid started having all these problems in their infrastructure. But besides Tesla in America, Rivian is the only one that's really moving towards full self-driving and autopilot, like autonomously. They've already had the technology. They just making it a lot better. So, and I've been looking at the new Rivian R2D because the R1S is very expensive, and I don't need a third row. Because right now, I'll tell you what I drive. I drive the Genesis GV80 Coupe. Woo! Man, gas guzzler, but boy, you talking about buttery smooth twin turbo V6, 300 something horsepower. Now I know they could probably get to 4, but the gas mileage will suffer. But nevertheless, hybrid engine, red interior. Everybody calm down. Calm down, everybody. Maybe it's just me. I'm calming down. and I have a 2015 G80, 2015 G80, okay, which is my daily driver. Leather seats, heated and cooled front seats, heated back seats, screen. And this is 2015. This is 2015, ladies and gentlemen. Heated and cooled front seats, heated back seats. The automatic window shade in the back. Oh, 2015, 136,000 miles. Still driving like a dream. No major issues. Oil changes only. Let's go, Genesis. You're like, man, why are you so excited over all these Asian brands? What about American brands? You know why? You know why? Even though cars, America, we used to be big on them. We had all these American car dealers, you know, Chevy and, you know, Ford, GM, Dodge. We had all these American car makers, ladies and gentlemen. But guess what America has done? Because of greed, they sold them. Can anyone name the only 2 American car makers left? It's not Chrysler. Oh, no. Chrysler, I believe, they fall under the Fiat brand, and then the Fiat still falls under the Stellantis brand. And I could be wrong, but Chrysler is no longer American. So Dodge is no longer American, right? All these ones under the guise of the American name you think is American. There's only 2 American car makers now, other than EVs. You have Ford and GM. That's it. Ford and GM. All those other ones you think is American muscle and American, nah. They probably owned by a Hispanic or Asian company, or Western, Eastern European, Western European country. It's only 2 left. The new car makers that are American, they're electric. Tesla, Rivian, right? Scout. The Scout is coming out. Lucid, right? And a lot of these people who come over here and started these electric vehicle car companies, some of them are from other countries, right? But nevertheless, if I were to buy another vehicle, and that's why they won't allow Chinese vehicles in America, it's because of that. Let me tell you, when we were told the name of some of these technological advanced cars, drive themselves, you know, open the door, close the door with your voice, all this, great stuff. They was like, oh, well, how much is that fully loaded? Let me do the, calculations and translations. $50,000 American dollars. I said, oh my God. They will kill America. China will kill America when it comes to cars. Because I promise you, if you telling me, hey, a fully outloaded Rivian R2D is $60,000 and a fully loaded BYD, a fully loaded Zeekr, a fully loaded Yang Wang, let me tell you, I'm jumping on the bandwagon because it's not about who make the car, it's about the car. You can say, oh, Chinese got the best car. I don't care. It's the car. I'm a car lover. I love the technology. Because I'm one of them people that are like, oh, what about old school American muscle? I love it. But I still want air conditioning. Oh, they're taking away from the American. No, I don't want to be hot when I drive. And again, I love the old school look of American muscle cars, but I want all the technology of Chinese cars. Because it's hard being me. It's hard being me. I love technology and I love American muscle. Because everyone knows I want to buy a Corvette. I don't have that type of money to buy a Corvette. Well, let me not lie. The Corvette I want, I don't have that money, because if you look at the GV80 coupe, fully loaded, after tags, title, registration, all that, it's roughly 100,000. But the Corvette I want, the highest model, we're talking about 130, 140. I don't got that type of money. And by the way, I always show people, you want to look at my YouTube, I don't really get paid that much from YouTube. It's like $300 a month. I'm doing this for charity. That $300 a month pays for my thumbnails. That's about it. So this is a passion, okay? This is a passion. This is the work. I do it out of the kindness of my heart. But anyway, Japan is going down. Their food has 100 plus food additives meant to spike your brain. I don't know. I don't have anything negative to say about Japan. I had a great time in Japan. The food in Japan was absolutely wonderful. Let me tell you something. Ever since I kind of went on a carnivore diet, and then, the exceptions are my vacations. When I went on a carnivore diet, Japan was great because they had Wagyu everywhere. And we bought a half a cow. We got in a deep freeze in the garage. Wagyu cow, delicious. So I don't know. We had mostly Wagyu. We had sushi one time. It was good. Yeah, that's all I got. Since you were mostly at tourist areas, most of the Chinese you saw were also local tourists. Many of those are from remote areas where they never seen a foreigner in real life. Okay, I heard that. I get it. For example, Cole used to have a brand. Okay, yeah. Okay, I got it. See, you and your family so humble. Well, thank you. I try to be humble. I try to be neutral. I try to be truthful. Hey man, that's out of curiosity. China always saw humans as equals. Okay, never said that they didn't. Korea, extremely discriminating. Wow, I'm Canadian. So many of my friends, Hong Kong, Black, went to Korea. They ultimately traumatized. I did, experience some, discrimination. But again, I was there for 4 years. So it wasn't, discrimination where, it'd be hard. I lived there for 4 years. I traveled all around Korea, right? I've been damn near everywhere, Busan, Tongashan, Jeju-do. I've been all over, you name it. I've been there. Because down in Busan, they have a lot of Russians living there, believe it or not. Russians in Korea, that was weird. But yeah, I was discriminated in Korea, but it didn't happen all the time. It happened every now and again in certain areas. If you go to Sinchon Rotary, it's a college area. Now, if you guys ever go to Seoul, Korea, and I always pronounce this wrong, right? But it's called Sinchon Rotary. It's a college area, and why they call it Rotary is a big circle, and everything around that big circle, right, is in this college area. And guess what? The food is cheaper there. A lot of things that is cheaper in that area because they are they're kind to accommodating a lot of the college students. So if you want cheap, good food, go to Sinchon Rotary in Seoul, Korea. Okay. Let's see here. Most Chinese factories make 100% of what the order was, become someone past merchandise inspection. Many are just fine. So any extra are sent to the underground markets. Thank you. That's what I'm telling people. We bought stuff from the underground market, and it was real. It was authentic. It was like the Nike shoe, but Nike just didn't sign off on it. The Petite Philippe that I bought for, a couple of, but it's part of my watch collection. It was from the real thing, Petite. I won't tell you. And you can't investigate me, guys. I plead the fifth, okay? I ain't telling nothing. I want other Americans to go over there and get some cheap stuff too, shit. America's expensive now. China, Texas, Alabama, it's getting expensive. Missouri, all them places you thought used to be cheap, it's expensive. And this person says, yeah, most factories make 100% of contract, and some of them quality issues. So the fully made, authentic ones end up at those stores. Okay, thank you. Okay. Some of them are the sample store. Okay. You're just tripling down on your point. I get it. I get it. It says no. It was almost 100 years to build the Great Wall, and 100,000 of people died. I heard that. I heard a lot of people died while building the Great Wall and a lot of these other things. But I didn't know it was. I didn't know it was 100 years. Wow. Okay, that put things in perspective. Okay, now, but you know what? That makes sense. 13,000 miles, handmade, 100 years. Yeah, I get it. Beautiful pic of you too. Lovely wife. Thank you, Yoga. I appreciate that. It says you be practical. Okay. China is addictive. You're gonna want to go back there again and again. I want to go back. I'm gonna tell you something. My wife and I, we've traveled to a great many of countries. We've traveled to the Bahamas. We've traveled to Jamaica, Mexico, Costa Rica, Colombia, Brazil. Where else? Vietnam. And again, a lot of these videos are on my channel. Vietnam, Japan, Thailand. Where else? Cambodia. Next year, I'm sorry. Next year, for the guys' trip, we're going to Cambodia. And the next year, for the family trip, we're going to Korea. And then we're going to move to, I believe, either Australia or Europe. Now, here's the thing. I want to let you guys know this as well. Did you know we were this close from canceling our trip from China? We were this close. We were very close. Why? We got discouraged, not by people. People don't discourage us. We're going to do what we want to do. We got discouraged from traveling to China because of American politics. Because I said, babe, you think it's a good time to travel to China right now? All the tariffs and, the American government believed that China is still selling oil to some of our foes or doing dealings behind the back. And there's government sanctions and this and that, and they're going to do that. And they're deporting Chinese citizens or, back to, I was like, do you think it's a good time to go? And my wife, she's like, I don't know, honey. I said, you know what? Let's just go. Because our alternative plan was to go to Singapore or Malaysia. That was our backup plan. Let's go to Singapore or Malaysia, right? I know they're small. It can't compare to China. And believe me when I tell you, we made the best decision in our lives. When I went to Vietnam and I was going through immigration, they did a changing of the immigration guards and they came out military style. They all stood up, hip, chop, and saluted. This was in Vietnam. As I'm going to, this got there and I'm looking at my buddies like, bro, what the hell? Like, it was a certain energy there. But had a great time in Vietnam. Food in Vietnam was great. Listen, if you are American, you know how you have all these damn videos about, oh, if you do this course or if you use AI to do this, you'll be a millionaire. How you use money with AI and create this. If you do this plan and you know these training packages, if you do this, you'll be a millionaire. No. I have the ultimate 100% foolproof way to becoming a millionaire, a true millionaire. Let me tell you. Go to Vietnam and live there. Let me tell you why. Let me show you. I got to let the cat out the bag, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. I have to show you this because this is the only way you guys are going to understand what the hell I'm talking about. Let me flip this. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out how you flip this on its head, so to speak. Okay. Now, the reason why I made that comment, I don't know why Let me switch it around. I'm gonna show you very quickly. Give me 1 second. Because you guys have to see this. Okay, there we go. There we go. And I'm going to go inside of here. Look at this. When me and my buddies landed in Vietnam, we were instant millionaires. For every $1 US is 26,307 or 8, rounding up, Vietnamese dong. I went over there and had a tower of sushi. Like I took all the sushi, ate all the sushi. And if you guys watch that Vietnam video, you know what I'm talking about. I had all the sushi. It was $10. In America, it would have been $150 for that sushi. It would have been $150 for that sushi. It was $10. We went to the most upscale cigar place in Ho Chi Minh City. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I just call it Ho Chi Minh. I like the way it sounds. We went to Ho Chi Minh City, went to the top-notch cigar place, and for the cigars and some of the things we had, it would have cost us $300, $400, $500. Do you know for all of us all together it was $100? Damn, Vietnam. You scared us coming in, but we had a great time while we was there. You keep that amount going, please. Now, I would tell you this. You're not going to be blown away by Vietnam. You'll have a great time. You'll eat well. Your accommodations will be great. You'll have a good time, but you're not going to be blown away like China. You're not. I'm just letting you know, okay? But yeah, we had an awesome time in Vietnam too, but it just wasn't China, okay? But if you want to be a true millionaire, and a lot of you guys work remote, maybe you can't work remote overseas, and maybe you can't work nights because it's night over there and day over here. But if you can, try it out for a month or two. Become a millionaire, a real millionaire. The money you already have, instantly turn into millions in Vietnam. Let me keep going. Man, you do live. Love from China. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. There was an original village there, but they built a lot of Disneyland type structures on the cliffside. Okay. Let's see here. I got a lot of comments, guys. I won't be able to make it through it all. Sending cozy vibes. Thank you to you and your lovely wife. She's not here, but you made her spirit here. Okay, thank you. The U.S. military enjoys extraterrestrial jurisdiction in South Korea. South Korea, let's just press the demonstration. The smiles applies to China. Okay. And by the way, we went to Canada too, by the way. I've been to Canada a couple of times because I was stationed up in Washington State. Canada, really nice place. Really nice place. Now, Canada, if I smoke weed, you'll be a top country in my opinion. Because Canada is one of the few countries in the world that say, you know what? We're legalizing marijuana all throughout the country, right? And then Trump, he just lowered the dangerous drug thing on marijuana. So now it's not on the same par as methamphetamines and cocaine. Is a lower tier, but it's not federally approved yet. But nevertheless, Canada, I had a great experience in Canada as well. I went to a lot of restaurants up there, really nice people. The only thing funny about Canada to me, if you spoke to a Canadian, they speak like they're from America. Like we have almost the same vernacular and tone or whatever. But it's one thing that Canadians are famous for, and I heard it firsthand, and I just thought it was funny. My wife and I was on a corner in Toronto, about to cross the street. And behind us, I mean, it's people behind us crossing the street as well. And this lady was talking to her daughter, and she's like, "It's a good day, eh?" So they say some of them, not all, I don't know. But this particular couple and sons and daughter did. She's like, "It was a good day, eh? It's really bright out, eh?" They kept saying "a" at the end. So again, because I know there's different parts of, Canada. You have your French part of Canada, they speak, French, some of them. And you have the other part, they speak English. But again, they say "good day, eh?" Not all of them, but the ones we heard, okay? Because you know what? If you don't say these things on the internet, people will rip you apart. Yeah, not all Canadians say A at the end. Can we be an intelligent generation? Can these videos that we're making, all these millions of videos that we're making, can we show the future generation that we have a brain? Can we show the future generation that we can think, right? We know, I hope that we know, when you're speaking in generalities, it doesn't mean everybody. And just for me, as a disclaimer, anytime I'm talking about a group of people, it doesn't mean all of the people, okay? All right. Oh, not a gateway drug. Really? Okay, we got to go there. Not that I turned this whole vacation video into everything else, but I'm going to go there with marijuana. Not to defend marijuana, but I am going to give some facts. When people say marijuana is a gateway drug, what does that mean? In that case, they should stop prescribing marijuana to people. In that case, Moxycontin, codeine are gateway prescription drugs. The reason why, with the science state that marijuana is not a gateway drug, is because marijuana in its true form, I'm not talking if you're going to mix it with something else. I'm not talking about that. Marijuana in its true form, organically grown, whatever, does not give the user a chemical dependency, right? If you stop smoking marijuana, you're not going to be like, oh, and get chills and start sweating like you would of alcohol and cocaine and crack and methamphetamines and crocodilia, all these different types of drugs. You're not going to, or codeine, a prescription drug, right? Because we had the opioids crisis in America, and those were prescriptions. Marijuana does not do that. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. If you are just doing marijuana, some people use it for pain. Some people use it for sleep. Some people use it for so they can have an appetite, because whatever other stuff they're on suppresses their appetite. It's only a gateway drugs for people who are just trying to get higher and higher. That's the only thing. Some people who got sleep apnea use marijuana. They use it for medicinal reasons. I ain't never hear somebody talking about, you know, man, I really use meth for my sleep. I really use crack, you know, to lose weight, because crack will have you to lose weight. Back in the day, you ever seen a crack addict? I know it's not funny, but it's funny, in my opinion. They will lose weight because they always looking for crack, so they wasn't eating. So it was the perfect weight loss drug. It was better than Zip Bound. It was better than Majaro. It was better than what they call it, semaglutide, teriparatide, retatrutide, all these peptides, rather. It was better than all that. People was losing weight in a month or two, okay? But anyway, based upon the science, marijuana is not a gateway drug. That is scientifically unproven, because you have no chemical dependency on it. But the thing that is legalized, like alcohol, that they try to ban, right back in Prohibition days, they try to ban, but they couldn't, because all the rich people, 99.9% were white. They saw how they can make money from it, and they saw the amount of people that will buy alcohol, because guess what? We either be uptown with the rich white people or at the juke joints down there with the black people. Both parties were drinking alcohol. They was creating their own moonshine. They said, well, people are going to do it anyway because they can make it. So we might as well commercialize it and penalize it if you make. See, that's what they did. They commercialized alcohol, and then they penalized alcohol for people who were doing it themselves. Slowly but surely, that's what America's doing. They just rolling out state by state, making, first it's like, oh, it's for medicinal use. Oh, now it's for recreational use. Now it's legal in this state. Now it's legal in this state. Oh, let's lower their on a dangerous, a drug list. Then eventually, maybe 5-10 years, depending on who's in office, they're going to legalize marijuana, because they're going to make it illegal for you to grow your own, right? To a certain amount. Yeah, you can grow an ounce, but you can't grow a kilo. That's how they're going to do it. This is where America works. Anything that the American people are going to do, regardless of what the law states and what politicians and business people think, if they can monetize it, they're going to monetize it. That's America. All right, let's see here. The Americans are addicted to painkiller pills. Some Americans, just like some people around the world, are addicted to painkillers. I know. I just said that if you're speaking in generalities, people should know you're not talking about all, but I want to make sure that we, push that point. This is another gateway. Prescription drugs doesn't mean it should be used abusively. Yeah, but if the drug itself is addictive, then it's going to be abused, right? Here's the thing. Anybody who smokes marijuana, I've seen people stop smoking marijuana, to stop, because of a job opportunity. I've seen people stop smoking marijuana because they have to drive a 18-wheeler. And guess what? During the time they were driving, they never touched marijuana. When you are addicted to something, you have to continuously take that thing, right? You have ups and downs. So when you take it, you're up. As you start coming down off your high, you got to take it again because your body's been dependent upon it. So you back up, and you back up, and you back up. Okay? But anyway, sorry about that, guys. Went off on a tangent. But I do thank you guys for joining. If you just joined in, please rewind the video. I believe I gave a very transparent take and neutral take on China, my experience and what I saw. It was a great time. You guys will really check it out. Okay? But nevertheless, oh, you know what? Let me touch on this. If you have family members need cancer treatment, go to China. They have more advanced drugs. Now, let me tell you about what we witnessed in China. We walked past this hospital and we saw, people coming out, and someone was carrying bags. And then we kind of looked up like, hey, people out of hospital carrying bags with figs or trees or leaves or something. Come to find out, and I don't know if this is all throughout China, when they go for upset stomach or, nothing like you need surgery for, do you know that they prescribe teas? We saw a video online while we was in China that she went to the doctor for a upset stomach and some acid reflux, GERD they call it. And the doctor prescribed her herbs that you dilute, right? You put in hot water and tea. We were blown away. My wife and I were blown away because here in America, you go to the doctor, they're going to prescribe you a drug. And I mean a drug that they created in a lab. Tylenol created in the lab. Don't get me wrong. A lot of drugs in America mimic some of the same herbs and healing in nature, right? But you can't mass produce that as fast, or because stuff don't grow as fast that you could in a lab. And creating that chemical dependency of these different drugs. Like when I had shoulder surgery, right? I had a torn labrum. I remember coming home and I had 3 types of painkillers. I had, and I don't know the name. One was a green pill, one was a yellow pill, and then one was extra strength Tylenol. And so whatever cocktail they give you in the hospital, right? It hurts, but you feel okay. You can do things. You can get it out the car. When I got home and they said, once it started wearing off, make sure you take the green one. So the first week you take the green painkiller. Second week you take the yellow one, and then you go off the Tylenol because you're healing, right? And your pain is going to decrease over time as you're healing. Cool. Then physical therapy after. But nevertheless, I took one of those green pills. Let me tell you why. I don't know what the hell that doctor gave me or prescribed to me. I don't know the pharmaceutical company that made that pill, but I was outside of my body. I feel like I had no control over my body motion. I would walk and I was walking like this, like my body just was loose. And I was almost like salivating and slobbering a little bit. I took one of those pills. I couldn't do it. I felt loopy. The second day, even though I supposed to took that green pill the first week, the second day, I took the yellow one. And, I just felt, I felt, I can't explain it, ladies and gentlemen. I felt weird. I can't take this shit. That's what I said. I can't take it. I would rather be in pain so I can have control over my mind and body. And from that day forward, I took Tylenol and I was in still excruciating pain. I was 1 day, 2 days from surgery, but I couldn't do it. And I'm not saying that China is going to prescribe you some tea for the pain. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, understanding how China does medicine and how America does medicine is very different. And it's because of capitalism. Is capitalism the best form of economics? I don't know, and I don't think so. Because everybody try to turn everything into a business. Think about your health and care is a business. They're not thinking about your health and well-being. They're thinking about the business. How much money could I make? That's why when you go to these other countries, the same medicine that you can buy in America for $150, you're buying it there for $10. But in China, they will prescribe you, depending on the ailment, a tea. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. My wife and I, we do probably two cleanses a year, natural cleanses a year. Maybe be sour salt. We take some burdock root, all these, different things to flush out our system. And believe me, I'm going to tell you guys this right here, right now. Everybody has worms. Everybody. And I'm going to tell something very personal. When I was going through my cleanse, a worm came out. It was dead, but a worm came out. My wife, when she was going through her cleanse, a worm came out. Back in the day when you were young, they used to say this in the Black community all the time. That boy got worms. He does. We all got worms. And somebody, well, I don't eat meat. There's parasites on plants and flowers and bugs. We all got worms. I encourage people to do a detox at least once a year. You can either do it naturally with, sour sop and burdock root. There's some other herbs, or you can go and use the chemicals, the chemical prescriptions like ivermectin and mebendazole. You can use ivermectin and mebendazole. A lot of rich people use that. They use ivermectin to do a 7-day 25 milligram cleanse. I'm no medical doctor, so don't take this as medical advice. I would just say that a cleanse has been beneficial for my health. I'll say that. And if I had the money and if the procedure was safer, I would definitely go overseas and do what they call like a blood filtering. That's what they do. A lot of these rich people, they fly over to, Europe, because some of these European countries have a procedure that they filter your blood. What am I talking about? It's almost like, I think it's similar to dialysis. I could be wrong, but they hook you up and your blood comes out of your body, goes through a machine and goes back in. They're filtering all the heavy metals out of your body. Or, like I said, there's other ways you can do that naturally. There's an herb or something called spirella. There's another one that will eradicate and help push out a lot of heavy metals for your blood. That's why, a lot of these rich people, they live to be 80 and 90, right? They live to be 80 and 90, a lot of them. But I digress. Thank you guys for joining me here this morning. I got a lot of work to do, but nevertheless, I thank you. If you guys haven't seen a vacation video, see that. If you want to know about American politics through the lens of me, check out Blacklogic. Again, wonderful time in China. Say what I had to say. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll see you guys on the next one.